lot of news has broken, and I guess we're gonna start off with the main one. Jim Ryan, this is King's topic. New management structure of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Jim Ryan to retire next spring, and Hiroki Totoki to assume interim CEO role while keeping his current role as Sony Group. So, it was announced. They said that effective immediately that not effective immediately, but CIO president and CEO Jim Ryan has made the decision to retire in March of 2024 after almost 30 years with the PlayStation business. To support Ryan in his transition, as we talked about, CFO and COO Hiroki Totoki will assume the role of chairman of SIE effective October 2023, and then he will be appointed interim CEO. Why you got to do the duplicate laugh? Anyway, so Jim Ryan was there since like in '94, and then since then he's held a number of senior positions at the company, including president of SIEE, head of global sales and marketing at SIEE, deputy president of SIE since January 2018, before appointed SIE president and CEO, and then yes.
I said, wow.
Oh, okay. Yoshida has had a comment. It said Jim Ryan was an inspirational leader throughout this entire period with us, but never more so in overseeing the launch of the PlayStation 5 in the midst of the global COVID pandemic. So he goes on to, again, to continue to rave and talk about how, he's helped the business. Jim Ryan has made his statement officially. After 30 years, I've made the decision to retire from SIE in March of 2024. I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love at a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners, but I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. I will leave having been privileged to work on products that touch millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be a part of my life, and I feel more optimistic than ever about the future of SIE. I want to thank Yoshida-san for placing so much trust in me and being an incredible, sensitive, and supportive leader.
When did he take over as the boss?
When did he take over? It said
2019, I think.
Yes, I think deputy president of SIE since January 2018 before being appointed. But yeah, it may have been 2019. You may be right there. Yeah, but
he came in at the tail end of the PlayStation 4, right?
He's been with Sony, but as far as talking about the head,
talking about being the head.
Yeah. That I'm trying to get the clarity there because it doesn't say specifically. It just said that he deputy president since 2018, so it could be between that 2018 2019.
Yeah. So to be clear too, he didn't specifically replace Shaun Layden because they were different. They're different positions. So technically, like, Shaun Layden's replacement was Herman Hulst,
right?
And not necessarily like Jim is the boss of everything,
right? Like Jack Trinton,
like a Jackie T or an Andrew House or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's crazy? I was looking. He wasn't there that long, like in that position, like 3-4 years.
Yeah, he wasn't that long.
So mad short.
So King, this is your topic. Obviously,
of course, it's King's talk.
The realm wants to hear from you. I'm supposed to let you talk.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
So,
man, you gotta beat your mic. I want you in on this. I told you, dudes, Jim wouldn't make it past the next fiscal period. Dude said, King, he has record sales. He has the Game of the Year candidate coming out. He has Game of the Years, multiple years that has been nominated. Your man has the service. He consolidated. He's making money hand over fist. I said, I don't care what you saying. He's out by next fiscal period.
You did
King,
say that.
you're a crackpot. Your man is gone by next fiscal period. Yo, y'all so successful, y'all stop reporting numbers. You're so successful, you didn't pay the ransom to get back the customers' data.
You talking about the leak? What you talking about?
They leaked. They said, yo, we got your customers' data. They said, we don't care about the customer. Do what you got to do, B.
You did not say
we
that.
don't negotiate with terrorists and they close the door. That's how much they care about the fan base. They care about you so much. Before Jim left, he said, I'm going to raise the price of the services. He said, and guess what? He killed the slate of all the games. Remember y'all sitting there talking about, we got games coming out this, that, and the third. Y'all don't know what's coming out now. Y'all have absolutely no idea. Don't know. But what you do know is y'all got 10 games of services, and he just raised the price on the services. He said, before I leave, this is how much I love y'all. Yo.
That is kind of funny. He left it, was like, here's my parting gift.
Savage.
Yo, he went out and snitched, put a light on top of Sony. Sony can't do their underhanded deals no more. Y'all can't do the stuff that y'all was doing with Square. That's why Square Games is on Xbox, because the FTC got the contracts. They said, yo, young man went over there. Imagine you going to the teacher, snitching on somebody, and they lock you up.
Why they locked him up?
Yo, how Jim is going to tell on Xbox and he get canned? He like, Phil is doing mad stuff. Why I gotta go?
So this is a direct result of
this is a direct result of the ABK deal.
Oh, okay.
You shamed Sony. Mm-hmm. You could have took the deal and got more games. You just got Call of Duty for 10 years. You got the same contract everybody else got. If you're supposed to be Sony Elite, no more ABK games for you. All you negotiated was successfully was Call of Duty. You lost. The deal is going to go through, and they're going to have ABK. Now the money that you were spending on Call of Duty got to go to Xbox.
The funny part too is they were offering the full ride.
Yes.
Like it's like being offered like a full ride scholarship to a school and try to negotiate higher than that, and they end up getting like, okay, you get one class. You get one class. You got to pay for the rest. Like,
you got an EBT card and a bus pass. They said that is over. That boat has sailed. Mm-hmm. Yo, that was officially the worst negotiation tactic ever. Like, you saw all the stuff that came out. None of the information would have came out. None of these backdoor stuff would have came out. None of that redacted stuff would have came out. Mm-hmm. And I keep on hearing the PlayStation fan base saying, Jim is leaving on a high note. Mm-hmm. Bro, you literally don't know what's going on for the next 4 years. Well, that's one.
Let me let you talk.
You had 2 piss poor shows. The one game that you launched this year was an exclusive, was a dud. Y'all talk about Redfall, y'all got to get together. Mm-hmm. The services they told you is going up by $40, not $1. Where's this number come from? Who the hell just said $40? Like, somebody said $40 and they felt that it was worth it. The service ain't even worth what they asking now. And this dude stepped out and said $40. He did a passion project, was called VR, right? That didn't sell. He done another passion project right before he leave. He put y'all right in the red. PlayStation Portal.
The Portal's a passion project too?
He did all the passion projects, all the stuff he wanted to do. Remember when we sitting there saying, why is this stuff coming out? Who is it selling to? He did passion projects to sink you guys because he knew he was going to lose the ABK deal. He said, you know what? I'm going to sink this whole ship. And he is your Donnie. He's your Donnie. And let me tell you this. Y'all don't got enough money to survive this.
Oh my God.
So boy, here we
go.
go.
Your money, when Bungie leaves,
here we go. The end's always PS6.
Yep. You know it's gonna go back to that. Yeah, let me hear this. Check this out. Let me hear this.
And I told you he was leaving, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all laughed.
True.
The joke's on you now.
No, you're right.
Now,
you predicted this.
No, not you. Not you. I'm talking about them. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm telling you, Bungie's going to leave.
Oh, this the new one? Prophet King, the new one? Check
this one out.
Why Bungie leaving?
Bungie's going to leave because all the work is being thrown on Bungie. Mm-hmm. Destiny has been absolute garbage since Sony has acquired them.
I cannot dispute that.
The stuff that has been going on with Bungie, you know why it's garbage? Because Bungie is overworked and underpaid.
Bungie
is doing everything else, worrying about Marathon, worrying about 10 games of services. They're going to leave. You know how she gets when she don't like doing extra work. She's out of there. And she has the prenup already signed. She good money, and everybody going to get paid, and she's going to go away.
Hogue said their contract is ill. He was surprised that Sony agreed to a level of contract freedom that Bungie has, agreed to. But yeah, no, continue.
No, I mean this. I just want to say, he was your Donnie. Mm. And the reason why I believe y'all can't recover from this, Microsoft is building Steam. Mm-hmm. You don't have enough time to play catch up. A God of War is not going to work. It ain't going to work. Y'all can try. Y'all can have him in Egypt. He can be playing with Ra and Horus. He can be doing all the Egyptian stuff that I heard.
I hate to interrupt because I'm not supposed to, but I just had to ask a quick question. So you're saying the reason why the God of War stuff is not going to work because like your old analogy when you had all the games, the bangers, and you had the God of War, the Spider-Man, and you said that Jim said all of this doesn't equal to this one game because of the revenue from that. So you saying now because of the Call of Duty situation is that they're in a bad spot that the hashtag just ones ain't gonna save them.
It's a cascade of things. You raise the price on your service, so you're gonna make people leave the service, right? Because you just gave them an ultimatum: get down or lay down.
Right.
You already know y'all get TCL television. Y'all cheap. So y'all gonna lay down. Y'all be like, nope, I'm not about this. I'm out of here. I'm not gonna pay for your service. You already know PlayStation dudes was bulking at the fact that they did have to pay for something when y'all tricked them that time. Remember, y'all never play for online. That'd be 39. So okay, the Microsoft having this head start with services,
right?
Microsoft having head start in multiplayer, Microsoft taking your most coveted advantage, which was Call of Duty and the marketing rights. That's going to be removed from you guys. So that's going to be on Xbox. So you can't no longer run out there and be like, yo, all you dudes is dumb. Call of Duty's only over here. Over.
Yeah, the marketing.
That $500 million that you was paying the Activision, that's going to Microsoft.
Yeah,
that's funding your demise, right?
You're absolutely right with that. I won't push back. My question to you is, but what about the success as far as the console sales, as far as dominating Sony's most greatest era as far as sales
the console
right
sold
now?
To scalpers.
Oh my God.
The console sold to, you know why I can say the console sold to scalpers? The ratio to games out there to consoles don't match.
Okay.
They don't match. Like not even 1% of your fan base purchase game is weird. It don't match. It don't match with the online. Y'all got 120 something 5 million online dudes. Why are none of them buying anything? Like why does Jim have to leave now in a cloak of secrecy? Like I'm out of here, you know. Me traveling back and forth has been too much. You caused the problem. Like if you never said what you said, you know what you did when you went to Brazil. You tried to speak in Spanish, it didn't work out. We found out what you did. Now you're upset because it didn't go your way.
They don't speak Spanish in Brazil.
I know they speak something.
Let him go ahead, King. Let him go so.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the problem is, you started all of this. Now it didn't go your way.
Okay.
You said we have nothing to compete with Call of Duty.
He did say that.
Well, that's after you brought Bungie. Like,
yeah, that's a fact.
Wasn't that like a week later?
That's a fact.
So nothing you got can compete with it. So that means you're God of War. Remember what I told y'all. That means you're Horizon. That means you're Spider-Man. Can't compete with Call of Duty.
He did say that.
So now that Call of Duty is here, what did he say? I cannot compete. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, so that's what they. So you're blaming the ABK failure to get the deal blocked. That part was the demise. Yes. So this is a ruse. His retirement is a ruse to you.
That's right. No, it's not a ruse.
All right. So what is it?
He really retired. He really looked at it and was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not going back in there."
Okay.
Like when the last time you saw him? When he said.
Okay.
That was the last time you saw him, right? So when we saw the State of Play, you thought he was going to come out. They sent somebody else out. And then they did, what was that game? Happy Feet, Baby Steps?
Oh,
they did Baby Steps. You should have known from Baby Steps, it was a wrap for you dudes. It is absolutely done. And I'm having the time of my life because I told you it was going to happen. And y'all looked at me and said, King, he ain't going nowhere.
True.
He's the most successful that we had.
True.
No, what he did was, he crapped on Japan, took those people out of there, took them over to the EU, and he made that his home base. The EU is fighting like hell for him right now to get that ABK deal because they know once it's over, there's no PlayStation 6. They want to save their PlayStation 6. I'm down with y'all, but no, it's not gonna happen. But listen, Jim, thank you. Thank you so much for all the damage you did.
So in your eye, just so that I'm clear.
Yes.
This is a Don Matrix situation.
Oh God.
So despite the console sales, despite the success of this being one of the best PlayStation eras for him, your thought process is that he's done long-term damage that they're not going to be able to recover from.
He told them He doesn't care about any other games except for blockbuster AAA titles.
That's a fact. He said that.
Shaun Layden, Phil Dominus, Maximus Aurelius Spencer, and everybody in the industry says AAA titles are not sustainable because the prices of these games have gone up astronomically, and you do not get a return on investment, especially when Sony games are one and done. There's no multiplayer component to these games. So you spend X amount of dollars on Horizon. You want money back.
Right.
It don't matter if it sells 1,000 copies when it's $10. They want to sell at peak price. Remember, he raised the price on y'all. The industry had to follow.
Right. He did raise. They started the $70 movement. He
started that.
Right. But what about the remixing and the remaking and then moving with the movies and then the PC getting the money on the back end?
Let me do this. Let me say this.
Let's go.
To every fan person of PlayStation, because you're not a boy, you're a person. You know, a fan person of PlayStation console.
Okay.
Does Sony look the same?
They feel
and
different.
I really want you to take a deep reflection on that question. I know y'all throw out numbers and stuff. Y'all all like to throw out numbers until one day it really fell. A Blockbuster was at the top of the heap until one day y'all went outside and it's gone. Y'all don't even use VCRs no more. But I want y'all to just really think of this. Has PlayStation looked like PlayStation this year? Look at it. From the two whack game shows, those shows was horrible. Forspoken came out, y'all was beating your chest on that. Final Fantasy came out, it was a good game, but it wasn't a good Final Fantasy game. Now you got The Last Hope. The Last Hope is Spider-Man. And I told y'all before, it's DLC. I'm going to call it Game of the Year for me, but it's still the same thing. Y'all have, what, 4 Spider-Man games in 5 years? Yo, how many times you're gonna go to the same
So they remix it. They remix it.
Yeah. Oh, you get to play Miles Morales in this one. You get to play Spider-Man in this one. You get to play both. And let's remix what we gave you.
They remixing the remix
years ago.
They Puff Daddy in it. This is the remix.
They charge you with tax. Yo, I'm so sick and tired of you guys pumping out your chest, acting like something is really happening when the world is passing you by. You outside of your house screaming dial up. This is what you're doing. You yelling dial up, and dudes is on DSL and Wi-Fi. You out there you on a rotary phone, and everybody got iPhone. I'm looking at y'all.
You're not on a rotary phone.
Is passing you.
But
and it's so sad.
Last point, you have to give him credit for at least you yourself when he was pushing the PC ports,
right?
Yeah, pushing the live service and the mobile. You was like, yo, Jim is on it. You was with him.
With that, I want him to do that.
Yeah.
That's the closest get over to the PC.
Yeah.
Leave this hardware stuff alone. You're not good at that. Let's leave that alone. Let's put that over there, right? Let's go back to being a developer. Let's do this. How about this? How about you go make games since you make great single first person story driven games?
So just to clarify, King, are you saying that they're going to be third party eventually?
Yes. Or they're going to be purchased by Apple or Netflix. One of the two. They don't got enough money for this fight. Jim already saw it. Yo, you know how you gonna leave? You acting like he leaving on top. I mean, he already planned his retirement. He really not in the building. Like he sent out a tweet.
One thing I will say is it is weird that he's leaving and like there's no thought process at all about a successor. Like it does feel like, and
let's get to it, Attic. Let's get to it.
If you look at like when, because obviously the ladder situation's different than when it came to Shaun and Jack Tritton and stuff, but to me it feels like, why announce it this early? Why? If he's leaving in March, why? It would make more sense to hold on to that information until you get to March or closer to that date when you have a successor. But to me, it's either Jim wants out now or they want Jim out now.
Oh, so you think it's nefarious? You think that
I don't know. Like all I know is it's ironically, and it might be a coincidence that he's leaving right after the ABK deal would be finalized at that point. Are
you implying because of his lack of success of getting the ABK deal blocked that this led potentially to his demise?
If he is being pushed out, I don't think it's one or two things. Like I think it's a variety of things. Yeah, we've seen with Days Gone. Days Gone sold well. It deserved a sequel from sales. Why didn't PlayStation give that one?
Oh yeah,
because they care more about their reputation than they care about sales to a point. So when you look at this, like, look, Jim Ryan has made them a lot of money, but we've seen with games, they care more about their reputation, if not more, on the same terms as they care about money. And what has Jim Ryan done since he's took over? He has had to shut studios down. He's had to defund studios because it didn't work out well. Look what just happened with the Knights of the Old Republic. We don't even know if that game's still greenlit.
It's gone.
He's converted what made the studios, what made PlayStation's identity.
What?
We don't know if any of those games are coming out. They're all games as a service now. He made us wait for 2 years for a showcase and gave us nothing for it.
That showcase was not good. I'll give you that.
Clearly, there's some kind of issue when it comes to developing, because where are all their games?
Oh my God, Eric, you on fire.
PlayStation has no problem showing you something that comes out 6 years from now. But you know what? That's a different PlayStation.
What's coming out next year?
King, that was Shaun Layton's PlayStation.
Oh man, so you mean your man had somebody's spade hand and they told him don't mess up the game and they left and came back and he lost the game? He had a winning spade hand and threw in his hand.
And then you got to look at it from this perspective too.
Some can't contain this.
Obviously, this isn't Shaun Layton's fault, but in his reign, he's allowed Microsoft to buy Bethesda. He's allowed Microsoft to buy ABK. He's allowed Microsoft to take multiple key component studios out of commission. Look, is that Shaun Layton's fault? Is that Jim Ryan's fault? No. But do you not think the executives care? No. When you took over, the landscape was different. Now why are we losing Call of Duty next year?
So the shareholders basically just want to be clear. You feel either him or the shareholders, it was a mission to stop the ABK. Because when the news came out, the real Jim Ryan news said, "Oh, we ain't worried about that, right? We got Bungie. He was popping off." So so now that the stuff came out with Lulu, and then he was like saying like, "We don't care what we're gonna do. We're gonna block this deal." So who do you think? Do you think it was his mission to block it? He did. Oh God, he didn't do it, or the share like what? Because I see you kind of going here. You're hinting about this ABK. I feel.
I think it could have went either way, but I am leaning more towards Jim Ryan. You know, they're losing faith in Jim Ryan. That's what I feel, because it's like I said, it's not a coincidence. Right after this event with the ABK, now he's talking about leaving. You know, and let's be real here. A lot of his heights was approved and greenlit by Shaun Layton. Because after a couple,
what you're saying here is, Jim was working off the coattails of old Shaun.
Oh God!
Right. So when the coup went down, Jim was the ringleader. You're saying?
Yes, Jim was the ringleader, and you know, it's not that he didn't make them money. He made them a lot of money.
He made them a boatload of money.
At the end of the day, it's like we said with the game portion. If that's how they feel about the games,
but he didn't take care of the termites.
If that's how they feel about the games, that's how they got to feel about their overall company. And sure, you make me X amount of money, but what else are you seeing? Core PlayStation people like Jack Johnny, Persona, Jabari, they're saying more negative stuff about PlayStation than good these days. They're going on there saying, I don't agree with this decision. I don't agree with that decision. And they still love the brand and they're willing to sit by it. But you're seeing more of this happen. And you know, I'm seeing it when God of War Ragnarok came out. I saw a lot of tweets like, you know, I love this game. It's a good game. But I'm kind of getting drawn out when it comes to this style gameplay.
Oh, because it's like DLC, you're saying?
No, it's not like...
Okay, well...
Yes.
When we called Jim over to the office, we said, Jim, we need you to have a seat. Now, you know, we've been noticing the numbers are good, but something don't look right in the light, Jim. Something don't look right in the light. Now, it come to my attention that you were the one that started all this mess. Now, we had a good deal over there with Microsoft, and you took it upon yourself to say that, no, you wanted to kill the deal in its entirety. Now, we told you, sir, if the deal doesn't get done, you know what happens, son. Now, as of 4:55 today.
Yes.
Your key card
what happened at 4:55 today?
Your key card would not work in this building.
Okay. He's revoked access.
And listen, we don't have any plan on who to put inside your place, but we'll find somebody in this building. Right?
He just got
Somebody
to
in this
go.
building. But we need somebody that play video games, because obviously what has happened to the PlayStation brand is that guy that was in charge didn't play video games.
You feel his controlling game
Someone
was
said
strong.
Buck got rid of Jim.
Well, we'll be taking over, and effectively Monday, we're going to kill all games and services. We won't have any games coming out. We will rely on indies. We will take it back to the essence. We will cancel the PlayStation VR. That's a cesspool of money being thrown in the bushes. That's not happening. And the portal's done. We're going to cancel that right there. We already know it's dead on arrival. We're not
But
going to put that
Jim, there's people that's already pre-ordered the portal.
That's nice. We're gonna keep their money, because we know that they like the Patreon our stuff, so we don't give any refunds, but we do like the fact that you did pre-order, but it won't be coming out.
You're gonna get it. Like the initial people are gonna get the ones they've already made.
No.
And then there's just never gonna be any updates on it. It's like, well, you bought it, you got it, but we're not
gonna ship
funding
it at all.
it
We're just
anymore.
gonna keep the money.
I got to shut the fuck down. Saab has been patient. Saab has been very patient. He's trying to keep it together on the side of balance and reason. Saab, your thoughts? Jim Ryan, no longer the head of PlayStation, and your thoughts on just all of this stuff that's going on.
I had to mute because I'd be coughing too much. It's funny that y'all, yes, I knew y'all were gonna take this route.
They knew you was gonna do this.
do this.
We do.
But at the end of the day, I think y'all were the first ones to say, and y'all not going wrong in saying that this is the path that had to be walked.
Talk to him.
Had to be walked. Somebody had to do it, because otherwise the alternative was don't pivot.
Correct.
Don't react to what Microsoft's doing and be even worse off, right? And really, really be in the bind. And maybe, you're pleasing the PlayStation faithful, right? You're giving them exactly what they wanted. Games not coming to PC, true exclusives.
It ain't like that.
And you're really, really, when you look at the landscape, look at what Microsoft's doing, not trying to do anymore, doing, and that's a problem. So you needed somebody in that position who was going to go in cold, business. Not care, handle the business aspect of it, take those shots, because the shots were coming, and then in his attempt try to be
throwing those shots. Was that Phil Dominus Maximus really expensive?
Most of it was coming from there.
It was coming from Phil, right? So I think Phil hit his target.
And they were also it was also coming from the PlayStation faithful, right? The ones that were like, what is going on here? What is all this stuff that's happening?
Double agents.
And so you needed somebody there that was not going to care about all of that stuff.
Playing games.
And was going to try to put them in a position to compete where they could. They were never able to. They were never going to be able to compete with Microsoft monetarily, right? So the idea
Is
that
money funny?
compared to Microsoft, everybody's money funny. So the idea that he was never going to block the ABK deal. He was out there to be an agitator, and it happened. And if it so happened.
So he was the sacrificial lamb, you saying? Who pulled
I actually disagree. I truly
do what
believe
you can.
Jim,
do what you can.
Real quick. I truly believe Jim thought he could block that deal.
You thought he went rogue? Did he?
No,
did
not that he went rogue.
Right.
I think he pushed the higher ups to believe he could block that deal.
Well, this is the thing, though, right?
Okay.
If you say that, right? You say that, but Jim's a smart businessman, right? If you're a smart businessman and your aim is to really, really do everything you can to block that deal,
He said that to Lulu.
there is no way. No, I'm saying, but if your aim is really, really like, I'm going to block this deal. Now, I don't want. He said, I don't want your deal. I want to block this deal.
Right.
In your heart of hearts, if you really believe that, you work hand in hand with the FTC and make sure, and you.
We don't know which.
He was snitching and saying all types of wild stuff.
This every
He let them come to court.
Hold up.
Stupid ass.
Every week. We heard this man in a different country trying to talk to him about the FTC, the CMA.
But at the same time, if you go there and you drop these bombs, you snitch, right?
Right. Yeah. Bad snitching.
If you don't caress them and show them how to argue this in a way that makes sense, what good is snitching doing? You snitched to people who then took the argument and then came to court with the stupidest reasons possible why this shouldn't happen.
Right.
It should never have been argued in the way that it was argued, and maybe we would have seen a different outcome, right?
He's new to the snitching game.
But we got. But Saul, we gotta admit, we have to admit, hindsight's 2020. But remember, the whole, I hate to call it because the dance moves flying, Ryan. It started because we heard he was going to Brussels. Or whatever it was, right? Then we got to admit, at the time, everything that the regulators were saying seemed like it was regurgitated from Jim's mouth.
Literally Jim's mouth.
And we have to admit, the FTC and the CMA block, this thing looked dead in the water. It looked completely like everything was on his side. And let's be honest, only King was out there, hold the line. That's how Hold the Line started. It was so spooky.
I was on some. I think this is over,
it's
but
over.
I'm okay. Whatever direction leads to this being over, I'm going to go that direction.
Hold the Line was King's moment because it looked almost impossible for Xbox to turn this thing off.
Like prominent people saw.
Yes, guaranteed. This is dead in the water. Legal experts saying there's no way.
And I'm tweeting right behind them saying, "Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about."
Right, and the only slither of hope that happened, because that was right around the time when Phil had to go to the Game Awards after the block and the joint, and the only thing that was hope was you got to say, well, let's see what happened with the EU, but the percentages are so slim, so we got to say that in Addict's defense, he had the boot on the neck, and this thing looked like a done deal before this magical turnaround happened.
It's like he was choking the life out of the deal, and right before they expired, he just let go. He thought he was done. He thought it was over. Started walking back with his hands in the air. It's over. And then you see that Xbox logo just get up.
It's more like Julio Cesar Chavez, Meldrick Taylor.
Yeah, get beat for whole. Yes.
Yeah, we was being beat, and I was telling y'all, hey man, calm down, stop, hold the line. You're an idiot for holding the line. Then now you had to go back and say, okay, hold the line. Okay, so if you didn't learn from there, right? Came right back to it, and I told you Jim was gone in the next fiscal period.
You said that.
He's leaving when? Next fiscal period, right?
Right.
The end of the fiscal period, right?
Do you think that they're making him, if he is being forced out, that they want to do it now because they want those investors?
Well, this is the thing, though. I don't believe it. Listen, I will concede the point that he was all in on shutting it down.
He had it.
I don't think this causes him to be pushed out at all.
Okay. So break it down.
Like I don't. At the end of the day,
reel us in, Saul. Reel us in.
Wait, hold on, real quick. I want to put something on when you are. We're not talking about the ABK deal. We're talking about studios being shut down. We're talking about the lack of their first party, because let's be real, Square Enix has been keeping the PlayStation 5 afloat. Let
me ask you, what has Studio Japan done of lately?
Man,
it's down. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't. Right. What before it got shut down? What thing of note were they doing
at that time? Even though that they weren't business, even though they weren't delivering, they still had other things to fall back on.
What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
But at that time, PlayStation had stuff for them.
All I'm saying is this: there were there were tough business decisions that had to be made. Look, and you put the business guy there to do that, right?
Okay, here's the thing, Saul. The reason I'm pushing back on this is
let y'all talk.
Let him talk. Let him talk. We got to let him talk. We interrupted. We've been interrupted. All of us interrupted Saul. Yeah, we're so mad with Saul, but he's trying to reel us in.
No, I'm not mad with Saul.
No, we're not mad with him, but it's funny. Let him cook. Go ahead, Saul.
Cook Saul.
So I just don't get this. The man, within their silo, he still managed to launch a console in the middle of COVID.
Facts.
That had no stock. And then when you had the opportunity to have people who would buy your console, didn't have the console to buy. Facts. They didn't go over to the other side. They waited. Facts. And they bought your console.
NPD, once the stock was up. It's crazy.
And he introduced, and what did he do? He introduced what they needed to even remotely try to compare with what Microsoft is doing. And it's still right. So he's going to walk out before he knows if that's successful. Hey, whatever.
Yeah, don't know.
Listen, if you have an opportunity to write your own exit ticket, hey, do you want to take that smoke or do you want to walk off into the sunset with the W, right? With the, hey, I left it in a good enough place. See, this is another thing that gets me about y'all.
Don't put me in there.
All these metrics, you cannot compare what Microsoft does to them anymore. There's no metric. Like, right, but you can't. But you are. Every single moment you say that.
What I'm telling you is you talking about they sold so many into COVID and these guys got them all.
It doesn't matter who got them. Are they sitting on the store shelf? No,
they not in customer hands. And the reason why
I have to agree with Saul on that. It doesn't matter. They sold it to some people. It doesn't matter who.
It doesn't matter if they bought them and then they dumped them in the river 5 minutes later. It don't matter. They was